Okay, so this is my frame, the Sidewinder. You can either think of it as the snake or the missile. I originally thought of the missile that they use on F-15s, F-16s, F-14s. Do they use them on F-14s? Anyway, maybe the next one will be called a similar name. You know what? It's probably will be the Hellfire. There, I've taken it. It's gonna be the Hellfire. All right. So, this will be a short build. Well, actually, this will be the first. It won't be very short, but it'll be the first of a series for a build video on how to build this thing, because it's not easy. And I know a lot of people will be turned off by this frame, and that's just fine. It's not even up for sale or open for sale yet. And thank you to Armerton Productions for allowing me to, or allowing anybody really, to upload designs and then for sending these out. The carbon quality is really good. I've scratched mine up a bit just fitting it, and that's one thing I'll talk about, is that some of this one and another reason, I'm going to give you a lot of reasons why you may not want this frame. But there's only a few good reasons why you will, and those reasons are probably outweigh all the others to me. Anyway, personally. But one of the reasons you may not want this is just it's a difficult build, and you have to file carbon. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. The tolerances aren't the same, even for the same exact frame cut by the same factory, because, for instance, I got these two recently, and these two arms are slightly different in thickness, and it's just, that's the way it is. You can't manufacture everything exactly the same. So when they get one sheet of carbon, 3mm, they cut it, they get another sheet that's 3mm. However, it might be off by less than 1/10 of a millimeter, and for this frame that 1/10 matters, because these arms are held in by compression, and so I don't want to build in a tolerance such that when you assemble it, it rattles, because that's not good. This frame needs to be solid. So I purposefully made the tolerances either 0 or like 1/10, and then based on the conservative way it was cut, even though there's like a tolerance built in, it might still be tight, and you probably have to file the frame a little bit, and I'll take it apart and show you where I had to file it. So here's the two, and there's a slight difference. This one has got a hole. I did that for weight, and I don't know if it really helps, but I figured a nice little piece of carbon in there might be a couple grams. And the thing is, it's not, I don't believe it's affecting the structural rigidity or crash worthiness too much, because the hole is inboard of where it's clamped, and in a crash all the force hits right at the intersection of these two pieces of carbon. Excuse me. These two pieces of carbon at a 90-degree angle, so I think all the force goes right here. None of it should make it here, and then you'll see a lot of circular cuts, and circles are the best. The best for strength in terms of carbon. Corners are bad, right? So that's it. I've got two. This one's got solid arms. So does it feel stronger? I can't really tell. I mean, it's so stiff. Will it hold up better? Maybe. I don't know. So I'll just pick one of these and disassemble it and show you where I had to shave the carbon a little bit. Oh, before I get into that, so another reason why somebody may not want to build this, it does not take a 30x30 hole-spaced flight controller. It's narrow. There's only 30mm inside dimensions, so you need something that'll fit within 30mm. Obviously, a 30x30mm hole-spaced flight controller is like 35 or 36mm wide. So I use this one. This is an F3 flight controller from Banggood, believe it or not. It's basically a clone of the SP Racing F3. But it's quite good. It can run loop times of 250 and run multi-shot, or be compatible with multi-shot and all that good stuff. So that goes right there. So that's the flight controller. This is the PDB. It's a mini PDB. I'll have to slice this sucker open. It's got a 5 volt and 12 volt BEC on there, and supposedly they're rated for 2 amps. And really, for racing quad stuff, you'll never need more than 1 amp each. I've never needed more than 1 amp. If you're using more than 1 amp, I think you got a problem. Something else is going on. But there it is. The pads are small, so I have had an issue where the battery positive lead pulled off. So you just have to strain and relieve it with a zip tie or something, so that the force on the battery lead doesn't go directly to this PDB. And when I actually do the build video, I'll show that, of course. So that goes on the bottom of the top plate. Flight controller goes on top, and everything's sandwiched. It's tight, and the wires get a little jumbled in there. So that's another reason it's difficult to have a really clean build on this. But the good thing is it's all protected from the sides. From rocks, branches, crashing, whatever. Partially protected from the top by some other components and these 2 pieces. So these are 3D printed by my friend Hugh, and they have hexagonal holes, and these hexagonal standoffs go in those holes. And the reason I made it hexagonal is that because this is covered by the 3D printed plastic, when you're trying to unscrew it, I used the round one before and it would just spin, and that's not good because you can never get it screwed out, so you have to find a way to somehow grab it. So with the hexagonal shape, that's not a issue anymore. So this is a front bumper to protect against crashing branches. Okay. So there we go. That's where that goes, just in case there's a vertical branch. The camera will be right there. Don't want to hit that. This one is for the GoPro plate and will sit up here, and that's where the GoPro will sit. So round standoffs for the rest. VTX goes right here. Receiver, I'm using a satellite serial receiver, goes right here. Battery, of course, gets strapped down here with a Velcro strap that goes through there. And that is about it. Okay, so here's the one I've been flying. Obviously, it's got some battle scars. It's dirty. It's muddy. I've actually cracked a few of these front plates, so they do work. It definitely serves a function. I imagine if that hadn't cracked, I don't know, there'd be more damage on the camera. The camera is set into the frame a little bit, so there's not much that shows, and if it does get hit, I left a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see that, I left a little bit of a gap right there, so that the camera can move back a couple millimeters, and then just go completely beneath the carbon. You can see the dirt marks. If you've noticed, a sharp eye will notice that I reversed the prop rotation. So the fronts normally go this way, and these go outwards. And there's a guy, Rob, somebody, I can't remember his YouTube name, who put a video just recently, because we were having this discussion on the RC Group thread for Armored In Productions. We were having a discussion about this, and he's the one who suggested I reverse the prop rotations. And actually, there is a kind of a subtle difference, but there's definitely a difference, especially with the frames I have flat side plates, because as you're moving forward and when you yaw, any air that goes over the frame and creates a dead pocket somewhere right around here, well, if your rear prop normally moves this way, the faster blade is here, not here. The problem is the faster blade happens to be in that somewhat dead air. So you want cleaner air. Generally, you put the faster blade outside. Even if you're moving forward, you get a lot of turbulent airflow, maybe right here. And, without putting this in a wind tunnel, who knows? But the cleaner air, you would think, it's somewhat intuitive that it would be out here. So, without a wind tunnel testing or seeing it, all you can do is try it. It's easy enough to try. and it does seem to work. I do feel a difference, and it's not just a placebo effect. I've, did it back to back on 2 different nights, and I can tell that there was something different, some slightly better handling. So yeah, there you go. Plate for the Yi, and one of the things I built into this design is that the GoPro or Yi sits right on CG. This screw is a CG, pretty much right in the middle of, if you were to draw an X from prop nut to prop nut, right in the middle, and drop a plumb line down, it would hit this screw. So as the GoPro tilts back, the center of the GoPro is pretty close to this screw, and this screw dropping down would also be the CG. So that's one thing. So sometimes I want to race and I don't want the GoPro, so I'll take it off. And sometimes I want to record, so I want to be able to put it on, but I don't want to have to adjust battery position or mount some kind of 3D printed mount on the front. With the flat plate frames, and I've flown those for years, and I loved them, but I just sometimes couldn't stand having to move that GoPro mount or remove it or zip tie it or cut the zip ties and then put the zip ties back on when I wanted to record. It was just a bit of a hassle for me. So and if you always leave that mount on, basically you always have to have that weight up there for CG, otherwise it won't fly right. And sometimes I just don't want it. I'm faster without it. So yeah, that's about it. My personal opinions on why I built it this way. Like I said, not everybody will agree, and some people will flat out just don't want to deal with this tight of a build, the mini flight controller, the specific components, and that's okay. That's why I didn't offer for sale. It's just something I wanted to do, but now that a few people are asking me about it, I think I need to show them how to build it. So there you go. Oh, you know what? I'll just go ahead and show the back, the lights, the bottom. Top view. And there's the VTX. The satellite receiver's in there. The USB, I do have to loosen the camera screws, slide it forward, and then this flight controller is sitting right about here, and you can get to the USB port, the micro USB port from right in here. Like I said, you do have to slide the camera forward, and then it's a bit of a tight squeeze, but it does fit. It would help if you remove this standoff or move this standoff to a different location. I put plenty of holes so that you can put the standoffs in wherever you want, depending on your specific build. So there are other places you could put this, but I use a small USB extension cable that's got a right angle to it. And where would it be? Which is this. So USB extension, right angle, and I cut the corner so that I could slide it and tilt it and then get it into the flight controller. And with practice, it's pretty easy. It's not too bad. So it is a tight squeeze, but it's not too bad. At least you can update it pretty easily. Okay, that is it. Mostly disadvantages, and hopefully if you don't want to build it, that's totally understandable.